Hey guys, what's going on? Monday morning, almost lunchtime. Hope you're doing good. Thanks for tuning into JEDIOSHI here. We have some stuff to go over today. It's going to be good. Looking at the Bitcoin chart. We'll look at equities too, starting with the dollar here. Just to note, the dollar has spiked up to an all-time high. Oh, not an all-time high. A local high here of 99. Putting pressure on a lot of things, equities, and you could argue crypto as well. Commodities are still ripping. We do need to take a quick look at some crude oil charts. Let's see. Crude is at 117. I don't know what this is, but yeah, we went up. Actually, made a high of 130. This is right yesterday when futures opened. Crude hit 130. It was insane. 130.50 on the chart for NYMEX, or that would be CME futures. But this was the look at a potential breakdown, but we broke out of it. We had a fractal here that was kind of a topping pattern. We actually broke out, and now we're doing a blow. I think we're doing a near-term blow-off, but I think a lot of things are just going nuts right now. Gold, it was touching 2,000. Silver at 25. Let's look at silver real quick. Haven't looked at that in a while. See, silver hasn't really gotten crazy like the rest. Wheat, totally parabolic. Crude, kind of parabolic. Silver here is kind of ranging, still below its high of not too long ago, last August of 2020, of about 30. So it's elevated, but it's not super high. Gold hit almost 2,000. Let's take a look at that chart. This is, I believe, the all-time high of 2090. Let's check that and go to weekly chart. There it is. Yeah, all-time high at 2090. So kind of coming back up here to retest, but you're seeing just an interesting time in the markets with kind of a flight away from risk assets right now, and kind of a big sudden rush into commodities and the dollar, and I think treasuries, and I'm not sure how the bond market's doing. I don't really watch the bond market, but yeah, look at that. Gold's at about 2,000 now. Silver's at 25.60, and let's see, crude is 117. 130. That's going to put a lot of pressure on the economy. Let's look at the equities, because what we're seeing here this morning, I mean, this actually, until just now, basically had no wick on the bottom. It's been all selling all day. And if you look at the hourly chart, well, there was some buying here, a little pause at 9:30, but since the open had fallen, what it looked like overnight into the open, and let me go back to futures and look at. Now this is delayed, so you won't see current, but this was very interesting. If you look at the 4-hour chart, look at that long wick on that candle. This was right in. Basically, we were running. The bulls we were bouncing off the lows here with a strong body candle all the way up above 4,300 on S&P futures, and then right at market open. It just basically, see right here, this is market open right here at 8:30. It could be that candle, but on the 8:30 candle, it's been nothing but down. But see how futures were breaking out. 4-hour candle looked strong. It was a clear break and break. Looked good. We had a little bit of a previous kind of correction, or kind of a dip here, moved back up, and now it's just been selling off straight. So now we're below this low point. Let's go back to like the 4-hour chart here. So now we're below this low point. And so where do we go from here? I'm not sure. This is, this is breaking down. We had the 4-hour RSI was turning. We got above this MA. Even, on the JEDIOSHI system looked solid. We broke above it, and then just did a total 180 reversal, right? So that's why when I post things like, even this daily or the 4-hour signal on Bitcoin that we got early this morning for a long signal, then you have 1-hour breakdown. So things, it's very dynamic, and even the signals, they come and go, and you get a 4-hour signal that signals yes along, doesn't mean you're long and strong forever, right? But it broke down, and so that kind of stuff happens, and you just see it. So we'll see what happens here, but we are selling off here. We're on low a day right now, so we're continuing to sell off. I believe this puts pressure on Bitcoin. Bitcoin was basically following the same path as equities. It had relative strength to equities, though. If you look at it, it actually held up, and we'll take a look at that. This is the 1 hour chart. So Bitcoin off the bottom, off the lows here, was running with equities. So equities opened right here. And for a couple hours longer, Bitcoin ran and actually put in a high point here at 39.5, I think. So 39.5, no real surprise that we met resistance in this level. If you go back and look at it, let me shrink down the RSI for a minute. But if you go back and look at it, we ran into this level, and I had drawn this kind of this area before we even got into here, just as expecting some resistance, a bounce back from this. So let's go to the 4 hour to show you guys what I was seeing and why I called it as a long signal. Let me bring back the rainbow RSI. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off we don't need to look at the 5 or the 15 or the 30. We can look at the 1 hour. We'll take the 2 hour off. We'll leave the daily on. So this is how I was looking at it. Basically, we saw over the weekend, we had sold off since 44K, plus or minus. We dropped back here. We kind of went sideways, but with an up channel, right? But we broke down. I think this was Friday night. Could have been Friday night, I think. Late Friday night, broke down, made a new low here, tried to bounce back up, made a new low here, and this is where we broke out of this, what I would call a break and break. So I had this line drawn, looking for that break, looking for that breakout. This was the 2 a.m. candle that ended at 6 a.m. And there were a couple ways I was actually drawing another line in here. I draw a lot of lines on my charts, but above these of the bodies of the candles, this candle was the final, or was the first candle that had a body close above this line. But it was sort of we're leaning across the line signal, which is why I said, hey, the 6 hour or the 6 a.m. close of this candle, which is this one right here, looks promising. We're not really fully across the line that touches all the wicks, but it does look promising for a long signal. And then I basically called it when we broke out on this candle here, although the candle hadn't closed, right? So anyways, we're bouncing off. We met resistance at 39.5, and we are going to have to see if we can make a higher low here. So if this holds, so what do I see? We don't have a daily RSI crossing up from a reset position. And I mentioned this in the Telegram a couple days ago. This is one of the things that I'm concerned with, or at least for the bull case, is you can go back in time and you look at, say that, and this pink line here is the daily RSI. When you go back, you don't always reset, but more often than not, when you come from an overbought position, which is up here above 65 or 70, more often than not, you do find your way back down below. See that even here, this is October last year, but you fell down from 84 and then you came down below. So more often than not, you don't put in, but then again here, you came in from oversold, you bounced up, didn't quite make it all the way back, and then you came oversold again, right? So you can, but I would argue that more often than not, you do go from one end to end, from overbought to oversold, or oversold to overbought. So that's one thing that was a little concerning to me, and it still kind of is. We are seeing it trend up, and this could turn. It definitely could turn. But what I'm seeing is you have the 4 hour RSI. Look at that. Really pretty fantastic sell-off here. Pretty organized, pretty quick sell-off. The RSI was pretty much straight down on the line. We consolidated at the bottom and we started to see strength. And this was, say, late yesterday afternoon. We looked like we might be getting signals, but we didn't have a few of the boxes weren't checked. Either we didn't have, candle wasn't closed, the RSI wasn't closed at or above 35. For me, it wasn't a signal. So, late yesterday, we thought we might get one. And that was the candle that went into the daily close and weekly close yesterday. And, but we didn't get one. So, but then again, that was here, I believe, or here, sorry. And So RSI did not break above 35. Instead, it turned around and turned down. I think that was here off this. Remember, I drew that blue line for you guys. But here off that blue line, we fell off. RSI came back. Now it made a higher low, right? So that for me was bullish. Let me kind of draw that out for you. You know, it was here, here, and now you're making higher lows on RSI. Higher lows on RSI. This is what I would call kind of wide divergence. I'm not going to go back from this point, but it is a higher low from that point because we came down from the top here. So you kind of go from bottom to top. Now you do have some swings in here, right? But top to bottom. This was a 4-hour sell signal right here on the cross and the break right here. One of those candles in there. Sell signal. And then it was sell signal all the way until this morning was a buy signal. So we are currently under 4-hour JEDIOSHI buy signal on this candle right here. I think the level was 38,644. So we're right above that right now. And we'll see what happens here. But do not be surprised to get a little bit of this. You know, a little bit of this, and we'll see what happens. But I think, you know, with this, if this is a bottom, if we can find a bottom here, the next move up should be pretty strong. And we don't have to reset the daily, but just don't be surprised if we do. And I'm not sure if that means we make a new low in price. So let me back up. If the daily RSI is going to reset, I would think it probably does mean we'll get a new local low on price. I just deleted all that, but basically let me draw it out for you. Okay. And there's a chance, this pink line, the daily RSI needs to sell off, needs to reset down here. If that needs to come down here before we finally move up, then I would see this making a new low down in here to say 36 or 34 something. Say down here, maybe this old pivot low here. So maybe down to 36.4, and then we turn up from there. And that's more of a longer term move, right? So when you get signals, the rule of thumb that I use, and that might be handy for you to think through, is what I use is a signal occurs normally every 12, 16, maybe 18 candles. So I use 12. I just rule of thumb say a signal is about 12 candles. So if you're on the 4-hour, that's 48 hours. That's 2 days. And that was what I back tested. I completed a back test of the last 30 days on 4-hour signals. The average signal length was 2.1 or 2 days. So I was expecting signals to last for 2 days. You know, but again, it's an average and you have lower and higher. So the last signal ran for, I think, 4 to 5 days. So you have, you know, it's a bell curve, right? But you have some that are actually like 0.5 days or 12 hours. So you do get reversals and things like that. It happens, right? But on average, over a number of trials or signals, it should average about 12 candles. So what does that mean? On the 5-minute, you get a signal about every hour, right? It's pretty fast. On the 1 hour, you get a signal about every 12 hours on average. Still pretty fast. So like that's when I post to you guys, hey, 1 hour this, 4 hour that. You know, these things can change they can change every hour, but on average they change about every 12 hours, right? So 4 hour is about every, say, 48 hours, and the daily would be about every 12 days, plus or minus. I mean, you can kind of go back in here and say, okay, we kind of broke up. Let's look at this one. We kind of broke up here. And did we get a signal? I mean, we'd have to look at it, whatever. But say we did on the 22nd. The next daily sell signal was here, I believe. So on March 2nd. So it's about 12 days. Maybe that's 10 days, whatever. Right? But the higher the time frame, longer duration you have between signals. And what you see is you normally see your RSI. See this on the daily? Your RSI fell off here and came in here. And that was the 16th to the 22nd. So that's 6 days. A little bit faster. But here you had a reversal. And then you had another one that was, I guess it's probably not 12 days, but yeah. So the longer the time frame, or the higher the time frame, the longer the time between signals. And when you start overlaying the lower time frame RSIs on here, that's what I was showing some people, is that when you overlay, say, the 4-hour and the 5-minute RSI, the 5-minute is wild. And this doesn't give it the proper resolution because it can't display the actual ticks on this resolution of a graph. But this thing is chopping all over the place. And that's why I say the 5-minute is so noisy, is because if you're looking at, let me actually take the 5-minute back off. But say I'm trading, say, the 4-hour signals, right? Well, in between this 4-hour signal and that 4-hour signal, you might have, numerous 5-minute signals. And so 4-hour, so let me say it like this. The 5-minute is what, 12 times faster than the 1-hour and 48 times faster than the 4-hour. So that's just kind of, so you know that. The 5-minute is 48 times, almost 50 times faster than the 4-hour, right? So just kind of know that. That's how the system kind of works and how to kind of use the different RSI timeframes. But backing up, kind of what's the outlook for Bitcoin right now? I think, yeah, nice to see this 4-hour RSI come up. Actually, we had multiple timeframes. Let me put the 2-hour and the 30-minute back on here. So what I look for and like to see on a nice signal is kind of convergence of RSIs all banding together and moving together. So this was a very strong signal, strong move. See how they all just jumped up together, and then it faded off. See from the top, you see how your lower time frames just started fading quicker, and the 4-hour hung up there until it finally broke. And then you have on the bottom here, you have the lower time frames or the faster RSI signals going first. So you get, what is that, 30-minute? It's 30-minute. Let's look. Yep. 30-minute pop, 1-hour, 2-hour, and now 4-hour finally going. So the higher the time frame signal, the more robust or strong it is, and the more kind of strategic or kind of bigger momentum kind of the signal is. So that's what's going on. I wanted to show you kind of what I was thinking or what I was seeing on the 4-hour and some others. This was nice to see this bounce out. Again, if we fade, we either are coming down and we'll maintain this as a low, or we could come lower, make a new low, get all of our RSIs reset again for a stronger, more robust move after that. So let me zoom out. Let's look at the daily on Bitcoin again, or for once here. But yeah, we are still seeing, and let me just simplify the rainbow RSI. I'm gonna take the 30-minute off, the 1-hour, 2-hour. Now I just have the daily. Let's leave the daily in white and the 4-hour in purple. You see how the daily and the 4-hour came up here together, popped up, lower high, didn't make a higher high here, and now here. So we'll see if the daily can turn or if it needs to reset. So interesting place here. Levels to watch on the downside. What was I looking at? Let's look at monthly real quick. See this pivot here? The recent pivot right here at 38.4. That's the level to watch. Let's go back to daily. Let's see if we see anything on the weekly first. Sorry. So 38.4. Then we have this pivot level here at 37.6. And we have 36.2. I'm not writing all these down, but that's how you do it. And then you go back to these, like this level and that level. So on the downside, you might see a drop, and maybe not this candle today, but maybe tomorrow's candle or something. You could come back to here and just hold floor, confirm the floor. So that's how I would do that on the low side. And then you go back to these levels here for support. Maybe that's kind of an area, or down to here at 35. So we'll see what happens. But I would say in a nutshell, on the lower time frame, let's call it the 4-hour. The 4-hour has a breakout signal on the long side. Now, how long will that last? We don't know. On the daily, we're still under sell signal from here. Okay, so that has to turn around. And we are under, this is a low point, it's a high, it's a higher low, but it's a lower high. So we're not, it's not really that clear, like I've shown, I guess, last week on Friday. It's not really clear of, we're certain on our direction. We're not in a trend, so it's a little bit hard. But that's kind of it, guys. Just want to go through that. I know that was a lot. Hope you caught it. Hope that made sense. Sorry if I rambled or kind of went around the block there, but you know, right now, just a lot of things to look at. 4-hour daily, showed you the weekly. Keep an eye on equities. Let's see how they're doing. Now this is futures and it's delayed. So let's take one last look at equities here. Let's just look at Dow Jones. It'll be a good proxy. You know, we're getting a little bit of a wick. So we are bouncing off the daily lows, but again, look at this RSI trending down, even broke its moving average over. You know, how low does this have to come before bulls can take it? What kind of geopolitical risk are we going to see? You know, a lot of things going on right now. Interesting time in the markets for sure. But that's about it for Monday's wrap up, guys, or Monday's update. Also on the Dow Jones, keep an eye on 33,000 as a psychological level. But you know, that's it. We'll stay plugged in. We'll keep you posted. Please like the video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. And enjoy the video. And we will see you tomorrow. Thanks again.